Hey everyone, Tyler here at the Movie Beat, back with another Blu-ray update video. I wanted to give everyone out there a chance to get a first look perhaps at the new Ashfall CJ Entertainment limited edition, first press edition digipak Blu-ray. This, in my opinion, if you guys haven't heard already, is CJ E&M collection, the best, as far as I know, just collection of Korean films on Blu-ray that you're gonna find. This is number 61, and you can tell from the spine. Every title in this series is numbered. This is number 61. And for those just curious about the film, it's a pretty by-the-book, disaster, blockbuster movie, but it does have a lot of A-list Korean actors in it, including Lee Byung-hun, Dong-seok, Jung-woo, and even Suzy is in this. So it's a really awesome A-list cast. It's just a little bit disappointing with some of the ways that this film was put together. It does feel kind of cheesy at times, but the character played by Lee Byung-hun is probably my favorite thing about this movie. It's just, it felt like he really put his own little spin on that role, and it was a really entertaining. That character in particular, for me, just personally, I have a little bit of a problem with the way that they portray the military, whether it was intentional or unintentional. The South Korean military just seems, well, just everyone's incompetent. Like they're just kind of fumbling, bumbling around. It's sort of meant for a little bit of comic relief, but I just don't personally gravitate towards that style of a movie. But it's got some pretty cool action set pieces. Albeit a bit of a letdown on some of the special effects and whatnot, but it does have a pretty strong ending that I liked. So let's take a look at this digipak. This one actually, just my opinion of it, it includes a lot of scenery of, this is the Mount Baekdu, which is the actual Korean name of the film. And if you've seen the film, this is the tunnel sequence that they have to plant the nuclear warhead in. It's kind of a cool part of the movie, but you don't really get to see any of the actors on the cover, and that's kind of been a trend for this collection lately. It's a lot of just kind of scenery type pictures, which is nice, but there are some really cool posters for this film that I kind of wish they chose for at least maybe the inside of this that I'll show you. So this is another kind of just scene shot, maybe a daytime of the volcano kind of ashing out the top there, and the back we do get to see some people at least, although it's pretty far away. I always like how these look really folded out. Inside, finally you get to see some of the actors on the discs themselves, but you know, some of these posters that I'll show you, I just kind of wish they chose those art, or maybe even went full classic Korean poster with this one. That's sort of the old way that a lot of Korean movies were shown with their the advertising posters. It was just sort of a candid shot of the actors, whether it was the good guy, the bad guy, arm around each other, holding hands. I like that. Could have been a cool little throwback. So overall, it does kind of have a really classy look to it, in my opinion. For those curious what the back says, in Korean it says, you know, we got to stop the last explosion. So if you've seen the film, they do know the volcano is going to blow up several times, and they want to stop the biggest and final explosion. So that's kind of a decent, I guess, catchphrase. But yeah, the discs are pretty nice inside the digibook, so it got kind of a map layout there. Maybe it looks like it's an aerial shot, satellite imagery of where the nuclear weapons are supposedly at. So keeps with the theme of the movie. So overall, I think it's nice to have these kind of Korean blockbusters in the collection, but I do hope that they go back and release some older Korean films, please. You know, we don't just want all brand new Korean films in this collection. I did like how this collection began with originally and did start to include you know, movies from years back, you know, 3, 4, 5 years prior. So still kind of expecting a Parasite to come out on this collection, but because there is a hole in the numbers from, I think it's like 58 about, is missing. So we're at 61 now, but there was no 58. I believe it's 58. Could be wrong. Another thing that I missed out on this release was if I did pre-order it here in Korea, I had a chance at getting a signed that they call this like a scenario book, which is like the screenplay, and it could have been signed by all the actors. So unfortunately, I did miss out on that. But if you guys are part of my Patreon club, and you do like to order hard to find rare titles here in Korea, I do have really good access to secondhand market and even the firsthand market, I guess. And the prices I'm able to get are quite a bit cheaper, I would say, compared to something like Yes Asia or other international shipping type places that you would buy your Blu-rays from. So if you do buy in bulk and you would like to maybe look at secondhand or more harder to find titles, and you did kind of go through my little Patreon club, there was a chance if you want to get a brand new title like this, we could have gotten maybe one, if we were super lucky. But those kinds of bonus type items, there's just a chance for that if you did want to order through me. So unfortunately, I didn't get that signed book, but maybe next time. So again, if you want to know more information about that Patreon type support, you can go to my Patreon page and just go to check out some of the benefits that are involved. But again, it's really going to benefit more for those people who buy sort of in bulk and are looking for harder to find or out of print titles. So again, hope you guys like this sort of first look at Ashfall Baekdusan CJ Entertainment Limited Edition Digipak First Press Edition number 61. Let me know if you guys picked this one up, or because you probably might have, depending on where you're living. There was a North American Blu-ray release of this film already. So this one is probably, I gotta say, this is probably the best way to own it because it is from Korea. This is the Blu-ray, the official Korean Blu-ray. It does have English subtitles, so nothing to worry about there. Let me know what you guys think about this movie and this release in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Tyler at The Movie Beat. Keep watching movies.